Hello everyone, can you hear me? I am back with my friend, my one and only friend this time because Long's not here anymore. Bastion Hearth, my name is Basim Hijazi and you're watching Bento Bureau, the show where we talk about Japan from an international perspective. Bastion Hearth is tuning in from Germany and I am situated in the Middle East, in Qatar, and we talk about Japan from an international perspective. How's it going, Bastion?
Good, how are you doing, my friend? I'm very excited to be back with you here on the show. Can't wait to start and bring in the guests and talk about today's topic.
Absolutely.
With the new camera, I'm ready,
I'm loving the new camera. I'm loving the setup and everything, looking real sharp.
Of course, you like seeing me in HD.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while since we've been live. We've got a few updates, really. Just, we're trying to get back on our feet for next year. We've got a slew of new content coming up in the pipeline that we're excited to talk about later on after this episode. But just wanted to let you guys know that Long Nguyen, our previous co-host and beloved friend, has unfortunately passed away. No, I'm kidding. No, he's alive. He's alive, but he's just a little busy. The student life, it gets to you sometimes, and he needed a break. So best wishes to our friend and co-host Long Nguyen, and thanks for all your support. We'll get straight into the show now, unless Bastion, you want to tell me anything about your life. How's it going, Bastion? You okay?
Yeah, good. We've been preparing a lot of new Bento Bureau content, as you said. There will be lots of changes, maybe that as well the audience will be able to see on our social media pages. So that's quite exciting. I'm just very excited to be back after a month of a break with 3 wonderful guests that we have. For sure, for all the viewers, maybe, let's just say that you can comment, you can leave your questions, you can interact with us. I'll be checking the live stream and you will be able to have your questions answered. But let's bring them in. Who do we have with us today, Buzz? Tell us.
That's a very good question, Bastion. Actually, today we're going to be doing kind of a follow-up conversation with our previous conversation with Professor Blackwood. He came in on the show last time and he discussed asylum seekers in Japan. So this is deeply related to the conversation he's talking about because we've actually brought in guests who represent the organization that he was talking about that's looking to raise awareness on this issue in Japan, refugees and asylum seekers in Japan. They're called the Kasumi Refugee Support Youth. They're an organization based in Kasumi Gaseki in Saitama in Japan, and they're made up of a lot of diverse international students who, primarily attend Tokyo International University, our university. And their kind of main goal is to break through the language barrier of Japanese and kind of raise awareness to the issue of refugees and asylum seekers in Japan. So really interesting stuff. As you know, if you've tuned into our last episode with Blackwood, you heard a lot about this issue and how it's not being talked about enough. So it's a really good opportunity to bring in today's guests to discuss this in further detail. How's it going, everyone?
Hi, Passion Buzz.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being on the show. How about you? We just do a quick round of introductions. Mia, how about you introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little about yourself?
Hello, everyone. So my name is Mia. I'm from Vietnam. I'm a former Tokyo International University student. So currently, I'm doing a master's degree in the UK in the University of Sheffield. And I'm living in Dubai. I already finished my program, so currently I'm waiting to get my degree. And I joined like Kasumi Refugee Support Youth since November last year. So it's like almost a year for me to be in the group. And I'm very excited that I got a chance to talk to all of you about what we've been doing all this time.
So you got involved when living abroad. Fascinating. We can talk about that later. Ladies first, Naoki. So Reina, how about you? Can you shortly introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Reina Hayashi from Japan. I'm a sophomore international relationships major, and I'm so excited because it's first time to on YouTube. So
Nice. Is it your first time on a podcast, Reina?
Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first time we did our first episode of the show, Bastian. Remember that? It was scary times. Even though, you know, we were just talking to each other as friends, it took a little bit of getting used to. So, you know, everyone in the audience, give Reina some well-deserved support and show your support for all the speakers here. But last and not least, before we get into the topic, Mr. Naoki, how are you doing today, sir? Introduce yourself.
Sure. So, hi everyone. So my name is Naoki. So I'm from Japan. I'm currently fourth year undergraduate student in the J-Track program at TIU. And what else? Yeah. And also I'm doing this volunteer work. Then I'm doing many things, but basically translation.
Interesting. What's your hobby, Naoki? Tell me a little about yourself. What do you like to do besides volunteering and writing dissertations in university?
Well, that's a good question. I'm very curious person. But I would say, well, it's funny but one of my biggest hobby is teaching Japanese in English to E-Track students who are studying Japanese, because I do love language, linguistics. Then yeah, I just love thinking about my native language. Yeah.
Man.
Buzz, you might not know, but you know, Kasumi Refugee Youth Support Group, if I got this now right.
You did.
It's actually, yeah, I did. Great.
No, you didn't actually. It's Kasumi Refugee Support Youth.
No. But to tell you, this is actually a bilingual organization. So, you know, it's quite unique to see an organization that is run actually at a Japanese university in English and Japanese. Sometimes it tends to be that the programs are relatively separated. So it's fantastic to have an organization like this, which fights a common cause in both languages. That's essential, I think. And maybe we can start by what your organization actually does. I mean, the name says a lot, but Mia, maybe you can give us a little more detail on what you guys do.
Okay. So, Kasumi Refugee Support Youth. So we have guess I should tell you about our goal, our mission is because we believe that the situations of refugees, asylum seekers, or broadly speaking, irregular migrants in Japan is not is hardly known. It's quite unfamiliar to many people outside the country. So we want to bring awareness to the issue and to make people not only the Japanese community but also the non-Japanese community to know more about the group and to know more about the situation of irregular migrants in Japan. So we engage in 4 mainly activities. First, we have our website. So we use our website to translate Japanese articles, like Japanese newspaper, articles on Japanese newspaper into English, so that people can know what the reality and what the situation in Japan is like. Yeah, that's our website. The second activity we do is we engage in letter writing. So we send letters to detention centers in Japan. We write to the detainees there, and to introduce ourselves, to engage in their try to talk with them, because we know that people who detain there are detained in a long period of time, so they might get sad or it will affect their mental health. So we want to do something to ease the psychological pain that they suffer. The third activity we do is we conduct Japanese classes to children and irregular migrants and their children, so they can so we want to help them to integrate to the society. And we know that the language barrier is one of the biggest challenges. The last activity we do is what else?
I'll show it. It's right here. Common Hub, is it not?
Oh yeah. So it's I guess it's not really it's not a very specific thing that we do on a daily basis, but then that is our end goal, because we want like not only us, not only Kasumi Refugee Support Youth, but also like, for example, Tokyo Refugee Support Youth or like Osaka Refugee Support Youth. So we want to help create other similar organizations across Japan, and we want to be the common hub, to be the bridge to connect those kind of organizations together, so that the more, because we feel like the more people know about this situation and to raise their voice, then the more we can do to help the refugees, the irregular migrants in Japan, basically. Yeah.
You do a lot of tasks and have lots of activities. We can hear that. I think we can jump into that as well in a second. My question would be to Reina. Why did you join? What was your interest in joining this group?
Because I want to support who in trouble. Then I found it from Blackwood, Professor Blackwood. He was my club's teacher, so I respect him. Then it sounds interesting. Even I didn't know about the refugees.
Okay. And Naoki, how about you?
Yeah. Actually, my reason is kind of embarrassing a little bit.
Okay, let's hear it.
So first of all, so a friend of mine told me that there is opportunity that you can use your English skills. Then I thought, I want to improve my English skills. This pandemic year for Japanese English learner, basically there's no opportunity to especially speak English. So I was struggling. Maybe my English has been declining this year. So I have this. So that's why I decided to join this group. Yes, that was my very first reason. But after that, since I was I entered the content team. In other words, translation team. So then, doing translation means not only doing your vocabulary and the grammar knowledge, but also you have to know the context or knowledge behind the materials you're translating. The more I translate, the more I realized how sad this issue is. Then now I'm just have feeling of help. So I want to help people in need. Then I want to raise awareness of this issue. Yeah.
Does that sound to you like an embarrassing reason?
It doesn't sound embarrassing at all. I was actually curious. I mean, Reina, like you mentioned how Professor Blackwood of our university, raised this issue to you. You heard about the refugee crisis in Japan from that person for the first time. So as a follow-up question to all of you, I guess, is I want to understand, when was the first time you became aware of this issue in Japan, the refugee issue, and how did you feel about it? Like, especially, I'm very interested to hear from the Japanese guests we have here today. It's like you guys mentioned that you didn't know about it until later on in your life. So I'm really curious, how did it make you feel when you heard about how they how they take care of refugees in the country, and what did you feel like you wanted to do about it? I mean, obviously you went to the organization, you joined this, but I want to know more about your feelings, really. So maybe we can start with Mia, just to go the round one more time.
So Sam, with Reina, I know about I became interested in refugee and the topic from one of the class of Professor Blackwood. I think it was the introduction to social psychology. And in the class, he talked about like he's writing a paper, and one of his methodology to do the paper is to go to detention centers in Japan and to interview the detainees there. And so it's quite fascinating to hear him like talk about the stories when he went to visit them. Like it's not those stories are not very uplifting, to be honest, because he talked about people who suffer from mental health, insomnia, or like, and they try to suicide because being detained for a long period of time really affect their mental health. And so the first professors, I remember he once told us like normally he just wanted to go to the center for research purpose, but then eventually um, it came down to him like he actually wanted to do something for this kind of for those people because he really wanted to help them because they are in a very sad situation right now. And so that's really like touched me. But then at the time when I was still a TAU student, we didn't really know what to do, because going there by ourselves is not really wasn't really an ideal option because I think it took around 3,000 Farad yen to go there by train, and it costs time and money. So, and we didn't really we didn't really gather enough people to build a website as we are doing now. So it was quite a shame at that time. But then I became interested in the topic, like from one of his classes.
Hmm. And what about you, Reina? Just going back to the same question. How did you feel first time you heard about the issue from Professor Blackwood?
Because when I was a high school student, I found a laser of UNHCR in front of the station. Then I knew about refugees at that time for the first time. But it was, I think, oh, it's another country story. But after that, when I heard about Japanese refugees in Japan from Blackwood, wow, it's my story. It's our country story. So very shocked, so sad. I want to do something.
Yeah.
I get passion.
Wow. And what about you, Naoki?
Yeah, well, basically same as Reina, but so when I joined this group, then I joined a meeting with Professor Blackwood and the other members. Then basically Professor was talking about the terrible situation in the detention center, and as well as the situation of people on provisional release. And then I was in a word, I was speechless because well, this is my stereotype, but Japan is I don't know how to say that. Japan is a nice country or safe country, right?
For sure.
Then,
I see where you're coming from, yeah.
yeah. Then, but from Professor Brackett, I got to know I would say the dark side of Japan. But well, I know of course Japanese authority has the reason. So I'm not saying they are heartless, but I just want to know more about this issue. Then I want to use my English skills to do this right things. I have been thinking of how. Yeah, I know I'm studying English, but how can I use my English for the rest of my life? Then maybe I'm considering this is one of the way to use my English skills. Well, yeah.
can I ask you, do you feel like other Japanese are aware of the issue in Japan?
Hmm.
Naoki, what do you think?
Oh, well, so yeah, not many Japanese people don't know about this issue, I guess. So, first of all, I would say uh, when, when it comes to politics, contemporary Japanese young people are not interested in that field compared to people, for example, in the United States. And yeah, so and also when it comes to this refugee issue, not only young people but also adults don't know. Yeah, but I
Do
don't.
you,
But so that's
yeah.
why we are doing this.
Do you feel the same, Reina?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean, I like, maybe it's not my space to kind of say on behalf of, Japanese society as a whole. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot. I guess I'm kind of the same coming from outside. When I came to Japan, I only knew the positive side. I only knew the amazing side of Japan, which is definitely amazing. But when I started learning more about the quote unquote dark side of Japan, yeah, I was quite fascinated that such things were happening. Honestly, like, I think before I started learning about refugees, I learned about burakumin. So that was like the first. Excuse me. So, yeah. Sorry, it's in my throat. I think I got cursed by saying that. No, but seriously, yeah, that was the first that kind of struck me as like, wow, Japan has a very interesting history. And then you learn about a lot of the stuff that happened in the world wars, but that's kind of off topic. But yeah.
No, but honestly, I mean, we studied international relations, so politics at TIU, and at that time we learned a bit about the refugee situation in Japan. That
Yeah.
there are not so many refugees they actually accept. I think a couple of years ago it was kind of a handful or two handfuls, let's say, like roughly 15 people who only had a refugee status. That was, I don't know, 2016 or 17.
This was at the peak of the EU migrant crisis, right? Like, yeah, this is when we were discussing this.
Yeah, so that was basically a good way of starting the discussion, and it seemed as if it's just a matter or a topic that hasn't been really discussed in Japan a lot, to be honest. But Japan is still, I think, the country that's gives the most to the when it comes to how is it called, like the when it comes to human rights and refugee support, right? They still fund the most of the money, I think, from all the countries in the world. I think they've had that position in for a long time. So that's how they kind of compensate for local activities. But yeah, I'm not gone.
You cut off. What did you say?
Yeah, I cut off. Hi. Yes, I thought so.
You're back. You're back.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Happens in a live show. Maybe we can jump into what you guys do. Naoki, you've mentioned that you joined at the beginning mainly because you wanted to improve your English. How do you use English right now in the organization?
Well, first off, so I'm in the translation team. There was a member of the translation team.
So you translate?
Yeah. So first of all, we ask like news agency or other organization that are publishing the articles on this issue. to get us a permission to translate. Then we do translate the articles into English. Then we can put it on our website. So that's one thing. Then in order to do that, we need to kind of negotiate their companies. So in Japanese or sometimes in English. So I use my skills for that. And so apart from that, since we are culturally diverse group of people, so there are international students and Japanese students. So someone needs to organize everyone. So I use English to organize people as well.
So you are the one basically translating the articles from Japanese to English. That must be very difficult.
Yeah, it is. So maybe as I mentioned before, even though I have a certain amount of knowledge of English, and of course my native language, Japanese, translation is very complex process. Like, for example, one difficult part of translation is, well, I would say word choice. Like, for example, that we have a word provisional released, karihomen, but we don't say tentative release or something. So we need to follow the authorities use the words use, and also since we are translating news articles, we need to use like news language. You know what I mean, like the grammar news companies use, and also for the title of each article, we need to make it more interesting. What I mean is that, like, when it comes to the articles of news article, the title of news article, like we need some kind of poetic vibe in that, right? Like
to make it catchy, right?
Yeah, like New York Times and the Economist or those kind of famous news agency are doing. We need to have this kind of skills as well. So yeah, we are running, but
Oh, did we lose him? Is it just me?
Maybe. No, it's not just. I thought it was just me this time again.
No, I think we're good. No, they're back.
he's
They're back. No.
Hi, Naoki.
hi everyone.
Maybe. Hi. We lost you for a second.
So basically what you guys do is you reach out to news agencies that publish articles in Japanese in Japan. You ask for their permission and then you translate them. Is there any kind of like compensation involved, or is it completely, you have to just negotiate and do it or do you constantly like come across agencies that demand some kind of monetary compensation or something in return? Is it difficult with that process to reach out to these agencies and kind of come to an agreement?
Mia is nodding very hard right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, maybe Mia, you get that.
Yeah, it was a very long and hard journey, because before we launched the website, we already translated around 10 articles into English. So we thought like, oh yeah, we could actually launch a website like right now. But then we realized we have to ask for like copyright and like the permission to translate. But then if you submit, because we have to submit a request, And when we submitted the request, they email us to ask for like a copyright fee. Like you have to pay a fee to get their article, and you have to pay another fee to translate the article.
Wow.
So,
So
and yeah.
is it like their own kind of rule to have a copyright fee, or is that according to like Japanese law or something?
I think it's publisher's rule, because like we managed to publish, I think, 2 articles onto our website, and the source that we asked for the article, they didn't demand any money, because we said that we are a non-profit organization and we just want to spread the words out there for like refugees in Japan. And they said like they were very welcome. They're welcoming our efforts, and they're happy to give us the right to translate. So it's not really like the law for you to, pay the fee, or you to ask for a payment. But it just, I guess, like their brand fee, like it's totally understandable if they demand a fee from us.
Yeah, yeah.
So who is paying for that fee now?
We don't.
They
Okay.
don't. They're non-profit.
Yeah. So we couldn't we haven't thought of getting, like donors and funding yet. So right now we don't publish those articles. So instead we write our own original articles and we publish them onto the website. So because we have like members of Kasumi Refugee Support Youth to go to Japanese classes and to like help the children with their homework and help refugees learning Japanese. So we can like ask the members to write about their own experiences of how they feel. And, like they can conduct their own research about the situation as well.
So to what extent can you get away with, since you have to, if you want to directly translate a piece, to what extent can you get away with paraphrasing quotes, paragraphs from articles, and kind of creating your own original piece?
We managed somehow, yeah. Like instead of translating around 30% to 40% of the whole article, we just decided to so we do our own research, right? And we compound many like newspaper article, for example, like 5 to 6 newspaper articles, and we get the stories from them, and so we put in our paper. So it's not like we stealing information or something, because we do like put citation and references there. This is like doing a research paper when you were in university,
Yeah, yeah. And what's the research process like for you guys? Like, take us through it. I mean, do you go and scour the internet and research articles and kind of decide which ones you want to reach out to, or how does that whole process go?
Here. You can call it methodology.
The methodology, yes. I didn't want to get too deep on that, but yeah, whatever. Methodology.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have 2 pieces on a website. So one piece is basically a small research paper about the situation of children of refugees in Japan. So what I did is I researched English sources first. I get the stories, I get the general picture, and then I went to type like the Japanese phrases in the search bar to get like stories in Japanese, because obviously the sources in Japanese are much richer, and they give us more detail into what the story is like, what the people involved, and what the outcome, what the process. So it's very hard for you to conduct your research entirely in English, because you might miss out something, or like your information is too outdated. Whereas if you do it in Japanese, then you get like information like, for example, yesterday or even a month ago. And another piece that I did is an interview. So we do interview like refugee activists and to ask them about how they feel about the situation. So that one is easier, because we only need to like conduct an interview with them, record, and then write an article about it. So it's really straightforward.
Interesting.
Another nice word, limitations.
All right, Bashan, don't
Sorry,
get
just,
excited.
just making lame jokes to spice up everything. Reina, you also told me about the activity you do. We had a talk before, right? What is your role in the organization? What do you do?
I do exchange letters.
Ah, right.
Detention.
I love that. Why does it look so cute?
It looks pretty, right?
Wait, are you sending those letters to the government? To detention
No.
centers?
In Shinagawa, yeah, detention centers in Shinagawa.
Interesting. So, I mean,
Can you show them again? And
yeah, show them. Actually, I didn't expect this. I thought it would look very official and kind of, very corporate because they're dealing with the, Japanese bureaucracy. But I love the way this looks. Very cute.
Great.
Yeah, this looks like actually something you want to receive.
Yeah. Looks like something pleasant. But perhaps maybe that's why they might be likely to read it. They're getting all these corporate letters, and then they find this cute, cherry sakura one, and then they open it and they're like, yes, please stop, being terrible to refugees. And then, they'll be touched. No. But in all seriousness, though, it's a nice looking letter. So, what do you write about, Reina? Tell us a little bit about some of the things you say in these letters.
For example, how are you doing? Then what do you eat usually? Also, I'll ask about what's your dream or what do you do today? It's a casual, normal conversation.
Okay, so you're communicating directly with refugees in the detention centers. See, I was presuming that you were talking to the people in charge. That's why I made that stupid joke earlier. No, that makes entire sense now. Okay. Interesting. And do they write back? Is it easy for them to write back to you and kind of send letters back?
Yeah. We have to give them about envelope and stamp. Then they can send us the letter because they don't have stamp and envelope. Also, my partner, she can speak French. She's good at French, so she said, "Oh, I don't like English, so could you write in French?" Then I don't know about French at all. So I learned bonjour to a little bit French to write letter.
Wow,
It's
that's
so fun.
that's what I call commitment.
Wow.
Learning another language so that they can understand in the end what you write.
So
do you know that person? Like, do you know her? Like, you don't need to show it, but you know how she looks? Have you met her?
No.
So they don't give them envelopes or stamps, they don't provide those things for them at all, even if they request them. So you have to send it to them in the envelope? Is that what you're saying?
I think she said yes. It was just very quiet.
I think I can because I think I can add more information. Actually, they can ask people to buy it for them, but because people who are detained there, they don't work, so they basically don't have any income. So and because we want to help them, we want to talk to them. So it's I guess a courtesy or a kind gesture for you to send a letter to them with the envelope and the pencil and other things that they need, so that we show that we are willing to talk to them and we want them to talk to us.
Oh, I see. So that's why you also include the stamps, and makes sense. And how often do you communicate with the person in the detention center, Reina?
Once a month or twice a month.
So you write once or twice a month a letter in French? That sounds tough.
It does, yeah. I mean, how many people are you talking to generally?
Or
Like,
do you use translator for that?
wait, Bastian, I think you were speaking at the same time as me. That's rude. What were you saying? Actually, I didn't
I'm
quite
sorry,
catch
no,
it.
it's just because I got cut off again. My internet connection is very unstable today. I'm not
Yeah.
sure why.
Apologies,
sorry about
folks. We're having a few technical issues today, but we'll try to.
that. Technical issues.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
a
the internet.
fancy way to say. Fancy way to say Bastian doesn't know how to invest in good German broadband. But what can I say? You know, Mia's Wi-Fi seems perfect. You know, but in all cases, how many people do you communicate with generally? I mean, you know, are you sending these letters to the same detention center in Shinagawa you mentioned, or are you reaching out to different ones around Japan?
Same detention center.
Yeah. Okay. And
I think I can add the details.
go ahead, Naoki.
Yeah, so I'm also engaged in this letter writing project, and so first of all, this project is, you know, what's the word? Like startup project. So as of now, we send a letter to, I guess, 2 people, 2 detainees. So one is the Reina's one. Then I also sent a letter to one person who are in the detention center. My letter was less lovely than Reina's one, though.
Can you show us? Do you have it?
I don't have one. Yeah.
Okay.
So I sent a letter to the person, but then for a while I haven't received the reply. So then I think the day before yesterday, so we finally received the reply, but saying the person has been released. So that's why I didn't get the reply. So yeah, it happens. I was a little bit sad because I didn't get the reply, but I'm also a little bit happy because he or she was released. You know, so the purpose of this project is so basically the detention center looks very much like a prison. So then the detainees are, you know, have nothing to do in the cell. So they receive a letter like the lovely letter like Reina sent. And
Yeah.
even though the sense is not just casual conversation, but we are sure it's meaningful.
Yeah, it's absolutely meaningful. It's definitely meaningful when you're living in such restricted environments. I mean, you started to touch upon the subject of that. You know, that I really want to know a bit more. Maybe Mia, you can take up this question. You know, how would you describe Japanese immigration detention centers where, you know, refugees, you know, who are arrested find themselves in these places? I mean, how would you describe those environments? And, you know, maybe you have other examples from different countries you can compare that to. You know, that would be quite interesting to know. Have you been to a detention center? Have any of you been there?
Well, for me, I haven't been there.
Okay. Okay. What about you two?
No, never have I ever.
Never. Are you looking to visit, or is it because it's difficult to go there and
Yeah,
visit?
because of COVID. The Professor Brackett was planning to take everyone to there, but yeah, this pandemic here.
Mm. Okay.
But yeah,
Right.
after the virus.
Yeah, I mean, COVID complicates things, obviously. So, but you presumably you intend to go there at some point, right? Like just to maybe perhaps get some interviews or something. Is that part of your plan with the support group?
Yeah, of
I mean,
course.
like,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, now you go, no.
After you.
Mia, go, shoot.
Yeah, actually, we do have plans. We already plan like each member will contribute a certain amount so that the members who are in Japan they can go to the detention center, you know, and like have meetings with the detainees there, and probably to like we're not gonna interview them, you know, because they only have around 30 minutes for a meeting a day. So we don't want to like make it because and that is their only communication to the outside world. So we don't want to like send them or like interview them or like ask them why they here in Japan. We just want to like have a conversation with them and tell them to like how are you doing? What did you do today? And are you how do you feel lately? And do you like need anything that I can bring in for you? This kind of thing. And then hopefully after those meetings the members can go home and write an article about how they feel about the situation and probably some like share some small stories that the people there share with them, you know. So
Yeah.
we not really try to exploit like their life or their stories. We just want to talk with them.
And yeah, and hear their story and spread the awareness. Yeah. I've got a
Actually, in that
question.
kind of,
Bastian,
I've got a question too.
I think you're going off cross the same way, so just go ahead, Bastian, say it.
We actually got a comment from one of the viewers. Abdullah asked where the asylum seekers or the people basically in the detention mostly come from and for what reasons they are there. I'm not sure who might be. Mia is nodding. She knows some reasons, but so feel free to shoot. Otherwise, I would also give Naoki and Reina the opportunity. Thanks for the question, Abdullah.
Yes, thank you, Abdullah.
Do you want me to go first?
Shoot away, Mia.
Okay. So one of the organizations that we've been working with, Ushiku no Gai, we know the founder, Tanaka-san, and she visits detention centers very regularly. So she did share some of her stories with us and like share her knowledge about the detention centers. So we know that people are detained in the detention centers for like I think three primary reasons. First, because foreigners, right? They overstay their visa, so they are detained. The second type is they committed a crime. I think I don't know what kind of crime because overstaying visa is also considered as a crime, right? And so they are detained in there, even though they may not like overstay the visa yet. And the last one is because, for example, like they are refugees, so they went to Japan to Narita Airport and they filed an asylum application, but then their asylum application was rejected, and so they are detained in the detention centers because basically the purpose of having an immigration detention center is to put people there temporarily so that they can like send the people home in their home country later. But then the situation became very complicated because, for example, if you're a refugee and you fled your country because of war or like political reasons, you cannot go home, right? And Japan doesn't let you like enter the country either. So you stay there for like what, a year, 2 years, 3 years, or like, because there is no time limit to like how long they will detain you. So you can basically spend the rest of your life there without knowing when they will be granted like a refugee visa status.
Sounds like a prison unit, yeah.
Actually, like some detainees said the experience can be
Is
worse than prisons. Because if you committed a crime and then you are detained in a prison, you know, like for example, I will be sentenced like 4 years, and then after 4 years, I'll be out and then free and about. But then in detention centers, you don't know when you will be released.
right. I think that answered the question quite well from Abdullah. Thanks again for that. Maybe we can jump back to what the goals are actually of that organization for the next 5 years, or what your personal goals are for this organization. Maybe we can start with Reina. Till you graduate, what are your goals with this organization? What do you hope for?
I hope disappear the organization because it's a support organization. So I wish they don't need support in some day.
And generally, for refugees in Japan, what do you hope for?
No one left behind because we all people, same people. So yeah, protect they are both people as same as me. So I wish no refugee, just I want to call their name.
Yeah, that's quite beautiful. I like that. Would be ideal. How about you, Naoki?
So my personal goal and the goals as a organization, right?
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Okay. Well, so for my personal goal, I would say maybe improving my translation skills, because as a Japanese member, I want to raise awareness among Japanese people. So in order to do that, I just want to make our website bilingual as much as we can, so that then maybe for the future we can do some class visit on JTrack, then show our website, and then the raise awareness. As an organization, well, there are some, but I hope more members are joining our group. I said our group has both E-Track and J-Track students, but to be honest, most of the members are from E-Track, so they're less J-Track students. So yeah, I hope make our KRSY more diverse, and yeah.
So you also mentioned that you want to do this for a lifetime, right? Use your English for a lifetime. It sounds as if you will be able to do that. You start very early, and throughout your lifetime, you can still put support into this project.
Yeah,
that's nice to hear.
Also, from after my graduation, I'm going to go to the graduate school master's program in the E-Track, to
Right.
do research on this issue. So yeah, I just want to understand this issue more.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank you.
and good luck. How about you, Mia?
In 5 years' time, right?
Let's say 5 years, yeah?
I think like, well, I want us to have many more members because right now we have around 30 members, and because we welcome everyone, like even if they are students or like non-students outside or inside Japan. So we want to, I want the organization to grow bigger, and we can engage in multiple activities that we've been doing right now actively, So like we have articles onto the website every day, and we do letter writing with a lot of detainees, like even like 2,000, hundreds and thousands letters sending. And we can we can inspire other university or like organizations to like grow and to build, like as I told you, like Tokyo Refugee Support Youth or like Osaka Refugee Support Youth or even like Japan Refugee Support Youth. That's kind of like organizations that we can inspire people to create organization to support the detainees. And we hopefully like, we can actually influence the policymaker in Japan to like accept more refugees. Like Japan is very, uh, very, I would say like, it's ironic. It's quite like ironic because Japan is one of the biggest donor of UNHCR, right? But then they accept very few refugees. So hopefully, like we can change that situation one by one. Yeah, we're just students, so it's not like that much of influence. But we hope that we can inspire other people to follow us.
And how would you tell people to raise awareness about this issue? Do you kind of issue, Bashan, you kind of cut off there, but I'm going to continue with my question. But basically, do you is it kind of like a call to action? Are you asking for people to contact your organization, or what's the best way for them to help you support and raise awareness?
I mean, like that's fantastic. Like we have a contact button on our website, so if they are interested in what the group has been doing, they can contact us using like that the contact button. And
yeah, check it out. I've left it in the comments.
Yeah, like they can tell us what they want to do. Like, do they want to translate, or like do they want to do research, or do they want to send letters out to the detainees? Do they want to visit the detention centers? But it's very hard for like individual to go by themselves. But if you go under an organization, it's gonna be easier for you, and we can arrange this kind of thing. So we are very welcome people to join and to like share our common goal, our common interest.
And given that you're working from abroad, Mia, do you encourage people from outside Japan to engage with you as well, with the Kasumi Refugee Support Youth group, or do you primarily look to the Japanese population for letter writing and things like that?
Absolutely. Like I'm not living in I'm living in Dubai right now, so obviously not in Japan. But then you can contribute to the organization in many ways. For example, even though I cannot write, well, because we prefer the letters to be handwritten and to send to the detainees so that they can see like our sincerity. But even if you're abroad, you can ask someone to write the letters for you. Like you scan and send to you, or you can just conduct like desk-based research, and that's enough. Or we have like our social media platform as well: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and a website. So you can help with like decorating the website or managing our social media platforms. There are many various ways that you can do, even if you're not in Japan.
So you heard her. If you're viewing this, or if you're going to listen to this in the future, you will be able to join Kasumi Refugee Support Youth. Now I got it right. You can check out the website as well in the comment section, and definitely check out the social media. They do incredible stuff. The three of them here, as well as all the other members who are there. Perfect to have. We need more young people like you to raise awareness around this topic. And looking at the time, we've been live for a bit now, so from my side, the three of you, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much as well for doing this. This is really essential.
Absolutely, yes. I'm going to pick up from Bastian here because he cut off. But yes, you're doing really essential work, and it's been a fantastic conversation, and I really wish you nothing but the best of luck. Bastian, you cut off again, so I picked up from where you left off. Anyway,
thanks.
You said such wonderful words, and you can see the smiles on their faces. They feel touched, enamored by your voice. In all seriousness, no, thank you so much for being on the show, guys. You know, you got our biggest fan here, Abdullah, telling you guys did a great job. So he really enjoyed the conversation. So it's a pleasure, and we wish nothing but the best of luck to Kasumi Refugee Youth Support Youth. And you know, maybe we'll have you back on the show somewhere down the road. You can give us an update, you know, on maybe, you know, post-COVID, how things are going with the refugee and asylum scene in Japan. So it's been a wonderful chat, everyone. Thanks so much. This is Bento Bureau signing off. So let's give it our all, Bastian. Let's go.
Gochusou-sama deshita.
Gochusou-sama deshita. Let's go.